I don't usually talk about this not because I don't remember, but because I remember too well. This happened about 6 years ago, when I was 27. I'd just gotten out of a rough breakup and wanted to disconnect for a while. So, I rented a small off-grid cabin deep in the Appalachian woods through a listing I found on an obscure travel blog. It wasn't on Airbnb or anything official, just a post with a few blurry photos and a phone number. The guy who answered was short with me. Just said it was $40 a night. Cash only, no refunds. I should have taken that as a red flag, but I didn't care. I just wanted to be alone. The cabin was about 2 hours from any real town. You had to drive through winding dirt roads and then walk the last half mile through the trees. When I got there, I saw it wasn't so much a cabin as it was a wooden box with a bed, a small table, and an old cast iron stove. No electricity, no plumbing. There was a hand pump well about 50 feet behind it, and an outhouse a little further down a slope. The whole place felt like it hadn't been touched in years. The door groaned when it opened, and inside, the air smelled like old wood and damp leaves. But it was peaceful, isolated, exactly what I wanted. The first night passed without anything strange. Just the sound of wind moving through the trees and the occasional snap of a branch somewhere out in the dark. I chalked that up to animals. I went to bed early and slept surprisingly well. But the second night, that's when it started. I was lying in bed, half asleep, when I heard something, a voice. It was faint, but close, right outside the cabin. At first, I thought it was a radio, or maybe someone walking by on the trail with a Bluetooth speaker or something. But it didn't fade in or out like someone passing by, it just stayed, whispering the words, didn't make sense. Just a slow, breathy sound, like someone mumbling through cracked lips. I sat up and strained to listen, but the second I moved, it stopped. I got up, opened the door, and scanned the tree line with my flashlight. Nothing, just thick trees and shadows. I remember calling out hello. Anyone out there? Even though I immediately regretted it. No response, no footsteps, no rustling. Just that perilous, kind of quiet that makes your skin tighten. I went back inside and locked the door, even though the latch was barely more than a bent nail. That night, I didn't sleep. The next day, I checked around the cabin. No tracks, no signs anyone had been near it. I started to wonder if I'd imagined it, maybe half-dreamed the whole thing. I told myself I was just on edge. Too many horror movies growing up. But the third night, it got worse. I was wide awake this time, just sitting at the little table, writing in a journal by That same voice returned, but this time it wasn't outside. It was under the cabin. It started as this slow, dragging sound, like something was pulling itself through the dirt beneath me. Then came the whispering louder than before. Still, no real words. Just this broken, rasping tone that made my ears feel wrong, like they were ringing and muffled at the same time. I froze, just stared at the floor. It wasn't my imagination. I felt the vibrations in the boards under my feet. And then 3 knocks. From underneath, slow, deliberate. I didn't move, didn't breathe, just stared at the floor until the candle went out. I don't know how long I sat in the dark. Eventually, the sun came up, and I forced myself to go outside. I circled the cabin. There was no crawl space, no basement, nothing. Just solid foundation, stones, and dirt. But the earth under the cabin looked disturbed, looser than the rest, like it had been dug up and then lazily refilled. I was done. I packed my bag and started back down the trail. But when I got to my car, I swear to God the driver's door was open. I always lock it, always. But it was wide open, and sitting on the front seat was something that hadn't been there before. A small piece of paper, folded into a tight square. I opened it up, and all it said scrawled in what looked like charcoal was, "Don't speak to it." That's all. I drove away so fast, I nearly tore my bumper off backing down the trail. I didn't stop until I was an hour into the highway. I never reported it, never went back. A few months later, I tried to find the blog post again to warn someone, but the page was gone. The contact number, disconnected. Sometimes, when I'm half asleep, I still hear that whisper, like it followed me. And I know how insane that sounds, believe me. But what keeps me up more than anything is that I almost did it. That second night, when the voice first came, I almost answered it. And I think if I had, I wouldn't be here telling you this.